Hey guys, welcome back. One more time, Chris. It's been a while since we actually got online. Do a little
And far
fantasy
too long.
football roundup.
Far too long.
I definitely agree. We'll have to do a lot better than that this time around. But we got our fantasy quarterbacks. We're going to try to get through a few of them in a flash and see if we can get our top 10 fantasy quarterbacks going. How does that sound?
I'm good with that.
All right,
I
man.
want to also give a shout out to the people of Greenville and all the fire victims up in Northern California. All our shows will be dedicated to them for the remainder of the year. Shout out to our man Kawani.
Yes. See you soon, Key. All right, man. Well, get this started.
All right. Top 12, what? Top 12? We're talking about top 12 since 12 person league.
Yeah, top 12. Top quarterback.
As we've had in discussions, we all firmly believe that there's a top 7, right? And if you get any one of these 7, you should feel pretty comfortable about your chances of success at the quarterback position come fantasy football, right? And not in any order, right? It would be Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Rodgers, Wilson, Murray, and Prescott. Right?
There it is.
Right. So you could put them in any order you want. You could pick them by preference if you want to. That's perfectly fine. However you want to go about doing it. But for the most part, those are pretty much your top 7 that we believe that will end up in the top 10 overall. Now, they may not be your top 7 at the end of the year. The idea is you'll have a couple of, guys who have really good years. One of these guys is going to have somewhat of a down year, but they're still going to be in the top 10 to 12, almost guaranteed.
Yeah. So our next move is, who would you pick up number 8? Right? I believe that's our next move. And right now, actually, I would have Herbert right up there at number 8.
I mean, so I think the next, the next 5 can be, I think you're kind of looking at preference or projection.
Right.
Right. And it could be any number of 8 guys that you could really put into that category. Right.
So I can give you my next 5 if that's how we want to look at it.
Sure. Throw out your next 5 and I would throw out my next 5.
My next 5 would be Herbert, Stanford, Tannehill, Burrow, and Ryan.
So you got Tannehill pretty high, huh?
I got Tannehill. I mean, honestly, I have him, if anything, if he wanted to, he could be number 10, cracking the top 10 type of thing.
Really?
Why not?
I mean, you would take so you're going to take Tannehill over the likes of Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
Right. Neither one of those two come out and.
No, I'm gonna take Joe Burrow probably over those guys.
Same, really. Same with what about Big Ben?
Big Ben would probably be on my next tier of 5 quarterbacks with Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins.
Where does Trevor Lawrence fall?
Probably in that tier as well. When we start talking about the rookie quarterback that can probably bust in, I would probably put Trevor right there with Derek Carr, Ben Roethlisberger, Kirk Cousins. If you wanted to go for Trevor Lawrence, I can almost understand that.
I mean, I could see where I wouldn't necessarily have Burrow this high up on the list coming. I think you're projecting far too much with him. I do think that Stafford is the next guy, though. I think that there's a reliability factor in him. There's offensive, backing in him as well. I think Herbert is the next guy that you would project from a youthful perception of taking a step. So I think that mine would probably go Stafford, Herbert, and then probably Matt Ryan. I mean, again, I think when you start getting down here, you got to take guys that are going to do that do things, right? I think if you take Burrow and he's not completely back from his leg injury, it could really hurt you, because the next thing you know, you're playing Fitz magic.
But you also have him. You like him better than Tannehill too. I take it because I have
Burrow.
Tannehill before.
I mean,
Burrow,
I'll tell you. I tell you. The guy I kind of like this year that I'm interested in seeing how he does is Darnold and Matt Rule's offense. Yep, I'm interested in seeing how Sam Darnold does. I mean, if I'm going to sit there and take on, when you're looking down this low between Burrow, Tannehill, right?
and
I mean,
Stafford.
because here's the thing, man. Tennessee, it is still King Henry's team. Yeah, he's got two good receivers. Okay, great, but I mean, if the guy goes out and throws for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns, is that who you want as your starting quarterback? Because that's the kind of quarterback I think they're asking of him.
Well,
you're looking for an offense that's going to be a little bit more open.
Again, it's one of those ones where you're talking about could he crack the top 10? Think he could crack the top 10. I think that's where I have all these 5 lined up. Like they can all crack the top 10, but it doesn't mean they're all going to crack the top 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to me, Tannehill's that guy that's better in reality football, not fantasy football.
Say that again?
To me, Tannehill's a guy that projects to be better in reality football, not fantasy football.
Well, it's the same reason why you don't have Tom Brady up here.
Yeah, I would take Tom Brady over Tannehill.
Okay. So apparently you won't have Tannehill, but so you'd have Stafford, Herbert, Ryan.
Yeah, Stafford, Herbert, Ryan are definitely my next 3. And then after that, it starts to just become preference because, depending on how offensive play out, I think guys like Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Trevor Lawrence, these guys become viable options, man. If you're playing I'm going to take the 11th and 13th best quarterbacks in the league and hope one of them hits, Yahtzee, right? Then you got to start looking at, who's out there.
Honestly, I totally agree with you. I'm not trying to roll with any of like I said, if I had to pick the 2 that could crack the top 10, I got Herbert and Stafford up there.
Yeah, Herbert and Stafford project out well.
Right. That's 8, 9. Now, if you want to say you like Ryan or someone else, I got Tannehill, Burrow, Ryan. So however you want to flip those around, to me, is even more so up to you and your preference anyway at this point. Like, any one of them can do better than any other one of them.
I mean, are we missing anybody that we're not thinking about? I mean, does Derek Locke or Drew Locke, does Andy Dalton, does, the Jimmy Garoppolos of the world move you? I mean, do you do something about do you take a chance on Deshaun Watson at some point?
I mean, would you do it in the top? Would you do it above all these other guys? You're not going to do it above these guys, right? Those quarterbacks are fine, but you're not going to project them ahead of these guys. You're not projecting them.
I mean, you're not.
Right? Like at the end of the day, but like when you look at someone like Dalton and Garoppolo, they got fresh legs right behind them. People don't even project them to finish out the year.
I mean, okay, so what about the Derek Carrs and the Burrows and the Bradys of the world? I mean, I just don't project Tannehill being a top 10 guy.
Okay, well there you go. That's my cracking the thing, and I think he can crack it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's 7-minute hit, Stevie.
Well, that looked pretty good. So we got our top 10, and we're adding Stafford and Herbert to the list. That's 8, 9, and who would be 10?
And you pick who you want. And put Tannehill there for all I care. If I have the 10th quarterback, and
you put Ryan, right? Like that's what you got. Stafford, Herbert, Ryan.
Yeah, it would probably be Ryan. Yeah.
All right, so it's between Ryan. So really, our only major difference is Ryan and Tannehill. That's
yeah. I mean, if we were to rank our guys, I'm sure there would be a big difference, right? Well, especially if I was to rank.
Those are the names that we actually are going to be pushing around. Where they rank that will probably be a little different from us, but I mean, if we're pushing the first 7 around the same, and the last 3 we got the 7, 8, 9, or you know what I'm saying, the same.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing too, right? To me, it's like I would rank them from who I want, not from who I think is going to be who do I want to have on my team, to a sense, right? I wouldn't take Mahomes in the top 10 because I'd rather have Josh Allen.
I can understand that.
Right?
I mean, value there. You can
yeah.
skip Mahomes, pick someone else.
Yeah, and if I don't get any of the top four, as long as I'm sitting there and I can get any one of the next four, I feel pretty comfortable in that too. Because my hope is you're talking round 6, round 7, round 8, in most fantasy drafts, maybe not, certain leagues or the league that some people play in, but most average fantasy drafts, you're not drafting a quarterback till the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round anyway.
So there it is, guys. Our fantasy flash from quarterbacks. We got Mahomes, Murray, Jackson, Rodgers, Dak, Allen, Wilson, Stafford, Herbert, and a switch between Ryan and Tannehill. Sure. All right, you guys. Next time we come back in, we're going to give you guys a nice little flash on fantasy running backs.
Later.
Later, guys.